Shake, Rattle, and Troll is brought to you by Bill Luke Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to Shake, Rattle, and Troll this Sunday. Hope everybody's had a great Thanksgiving in the house, as always. Our president, Mr. President, God, it pains me to say that. John Cole is our president of the ADA.
Good morning, Best Eddie. It sounds so honorific for me to be receiving those from you.
Know, if it weren't had for, let's say, Clinton, Carter, Obama, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I understand.
But now it's Obama and Unmock, and it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
All righty, hey, well, we're gonna have some fun today.
Like we don't every other Sunday.
We've got a couple of guys in here. Let's just say are outstanding hunters. Marty Solberg and his son Chad. And let me set the stage for this. You killed a nice bull.
Yes, I did.
You scored green, what,
333.
333. Well, this big guy over here, and I have to. You don't know Randy McElrath. But if Randy McElrath had a sister,
it would look like
you
him.
guys could be. I'm serious. Same size.
Are you serious?
Same look, same hat. The only difference between Chad and Randy, it can be.
Oh, I thought you were talking the sister looked like him.
No. Randy will wear at 25 degrees. He's got this plaid short sleeve shirt.
He always wears that.
And that, yeah. I mean, it's like this guy's nervous system doesn't work. And anyway, Chad's in the house, just killed a 184 mule buck and an 18-inch black bear.
The 18-inch black bear is what intrigued me.
Yeah. And Marty's bull, 340.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting here, I don't have an elk tag, and I got to listen to Marty. I've been listening to you forever. I don't have a deer tag, and Chad's going to be out.
Okay, here's the deal. I will give you my javelina tag this year.
No, I put in for a leftover.
Leftover?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And God love Kathy up at Game and Fish. She was kind enough to call me up. I was in the middle of Home Depot having a tirade because they're making announcements in Hispaniola, and that's wrong. She goes, Don, I have your javelina tag for the leftovers.
Oh.
But you need a 2014 hunting license. I gave her my 2013, not thinking about it. And so it was, okay, throw the drywall and the lumber down, run home, get on the internet. And
oh, you're close enough now. You might want to consider buying a senior lifetime license.
I'm not going to live that long. You know what? There's just no slack. Anyway, guys, welcome. Yeah, I'm going to apologize in advance. Something's going to happen to you. We don't know what it is, but when it does, gotcha. All right, who wants to go off? Sorry, Chad. Seniority
rules.
Has its place. Marty, tell me about your bull.
Well, you probably heard the story from Joe Nocta when he was on a while back.
Yeah, and you guys are related somehow?
Yeah, we're actually in-laws, brother-in-laws. So
I'm sorry.
I'm married. We're married to sisters. So.
Nice.
But
you're such a big brother-in-law. Wow.
But
Joey's such a little guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at you guys are Mutt and Jeff walking together.
Yeah, well, what
sorry, Joey.
Here's how ornery Joey is. He'll stand up on a chair and get in his face.
That's the least intimidating thing anybody can do is to stand up on a chair and get in somebody's face.
Yeah, it's kind of like Larry Riley.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You kick the legs off from that chair, and all of a sudden down goes the whole house.
Take it one step further. He gets up on the chair with the baseball bat and gets in my face. Yeah, but I'm sure you've heard. Excuse me. I'm sure you've heard some stories, and
I want to hear the truth.
Tends to exaggerate a little bit.
Joey?
Nah. In his own, in his own right. He's a good. I love him to death, and we get along great.
It's called fact until somebody can prove otherwise. That's what hunting and fishing stories are all about.
Yes, yes. And who said you don't get nervous on the radio? But anyway,
what?
Something about this mic poking me in the face or something.
There's right now our quarter share is about Oh, depending on the weekend, somewhere between 88 and 104,000 people every 15 minutes. So
that makes me feel better. Okay.
Yeah, we can make that mic poke you somewhere else.
But anyway, the story. We are in 5B North, and I'm following Joe around he knows the area, I don't. I was only there once before, which is 5B North is just south of I-40 and east of Flagstaff. And we're in about probably our 6th or 7th day of the hunt, and I've been following him around. We spotted some very, very nice bulls. He's after a trophy, and they're 400 class bulls.
Nice.
And one evening we sat down after tramping around, following him around, and I said,
isn't that kind of arduous? I mean, your legs are so long and Joy's are so short.
Well,
you just kind of did itty bitty step and follow him.
But you know what?
I'm just saying.
But you know what? He can walk pretty fast. He does good. He does very well. He does better than I do, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's closer to the ground. He doesn't have that far to trip and fall on things.
It probably has to do with something like that, yeah. But this one evening, we sat down and eating dinner around the camp, and I said, hey, Joey, I says, I'm not after a 400 class bull. I said, how about me? Is it my turn yet?
Ooh.
And he kind of looked, and he realized at that point that, you know what, yeah, I guess we need to go out and get you something.
Nice.
So we're up on the side of what's called an escarpment on Anderson Mesa, near Anderson Mesa on the mountainside, and he was calling a little bit. And they were pretty sparse in their calling. There wasn't that much calling going on. So he said, hey, let's go. I said, okay. So we take off walking on the side of the escarpment. He's up in elevation a little bit higher than I am on the side of this hillside, okay? And so he's now head and shoulders taller than I am. But anyway, he stops and he sees something. I'm looking at him, and he stops me and he gives me the sign. He sees something and he says, knock an arrow, knock an arrow, knock an arrow. And this is my first, I have to go back a little bit here. This is my first archery bull elk hunt.
Yikes.
I've shot one before with rifle, but years ago. So anyway, I'm knocking an arrow, and I know he sees something. He takes out his rangefinder, and he's got it up to his face, and he's looking at something. I still can't see what it is. And he looks at me, and he whispers, 26 yards. Okay. I'm looking. And he goes to let go of his rangefinder, thinking it's around his neck, and he drops it.
Oh, nice.
Clack, 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 And so I still don't see anything, and he's, giving me those, he's cussing under his breath. So he says it's still there. The tree's at 26 yards. And we're whispering all this, and I'm looking up at him. He's like I said, he's up a little higher now. I'm like, okay.
What do you
I see the tree. I don't see the elk.
Shoot the tree.
I do not see any elk. And I'm to the right, to the left. I'm down on my knees. I'm looking around. Finally, I take a couple steps over towards him, and I practically knock heads with him to get to see this bull, and all I see is a rack.
Uh-oh.
And now I'm ready.
Adrenaline's pumping, hands start shaking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never happens to me.
So I go back to my original spot, and I move a couple steps. I end up moving a couple steps to the right eventually, thinking, well, I'm going to blow this because they're going to hear me or something. But we have the wind towards us. I mean, everything's perfect condition. So I move over to the right a couple steps, and now I can see the elk's hind end and half of its body. But I do not have a shot at the vitals yet. And I know better than that, so I'm waiting. And Joe's looking at me, and I'm like shaking my head, no, I don't have a shot yet. I have to take one more step to the right. And I thought, I'm going to blow this. I take one more step to the right. Sure enough, they'd never quit grazing. They were so hungry. There was two of them, one further back beyond him, and then this 340 bull at 20. The tree was at 26 yards, but now this elk's beyond that. He's probably 28 yards. And
Long shot.
I draw back, anchor it like they showed me. I mean, I've been shooting a bow now with him for probably 7, maybe 8 years, maybe longer, maybe 10. Anyway, did everything right. Let the arrow fly. Hear that thump. And the elk turns towards us, takes 3 steps towards us, and at this point I'm knocking another arrow, doing what I was showed to do, and I'm hurrying up and knocking another arrow. And Joe's looking at me, and he's got his finger up, and he's going, shaking his head, no, you don't need another arrow. I'm like, looking at him, looking at the elk, looking at him, looking at the elk. So the elk ends up taking 3 steps towards us, and then 3 steps to our right. Wavers back and forth, right and left with its head, and goes down.
No way. I hadn't heard that part.
And so...
Really? Were you there?
So, it was just, I was overjoyed, and I don't know what exactly happened after that, but Joe said there was a bunch of fist pumping, and I run up, I run up and grab him, give him a bear hug, Ooh. And he goes,
his bull takes 6 steps. Mine goes 2.5 miles.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
And that's what another point that Joey mentioned. He says he has yet to ever see an animal.
That never happens.
He's hunted in Africa. He's hunted all over the place. He has yet to see an animal, elk, kudu, whatever, hit and only go less than 20 yards and just keel over. He said that was just a heck of a remarkable.
How far were you from access?
For
pickup?
Yeah.
Oh, we were on ATVs and we were I think he said 300 to 350 yards uphill. So
in snow both ways, I know.
Yeah.
No, wasn't that bad.
I'll tell you, that's as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe it gets any better than that, does it, JK?
Not in this lifetime.
Bam, 6 steps. Wow. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. We're going to stand down. Thanks some of our sponsors, and I want to thank you for listening. I'm here with
John Colazar,
Marty Solberg,
and Chad Solberg.
There you go. Doug's in the house. Hey. Matt Computer's in the house.
Mac Computer.
Jennifer's doing a fine job in there.
God, she looks good today.
We'll be back.
All wide awake.
To a brand new Chevrolet.
It's a Dodge.
It's a Prius.
D-O-D-G-E. All right, we're back. I want to switch gears. Okay, we're going from Springerville over to Safford, and I got to hear this story. How in the world did you sneak up on a 148-inch mule deer? I mean, those are the most wily guys in the world.
That was 184, but we were out trying to get my mom her first archery javelina, and I was glassing for these pigs that we kept seeing coming up on this ridge, and it was still early in the morning. The sun wasn't hitting the hill, and so I started glassing out looking for deer, and I picked up this buck. I couldn't really tell what he was because he was about 2,000 yards out and I only had 10x50s on me.
Nice.
That's called straining the eyeballs.
Yeah.
So I could tell he was a buck, so I knew he was a decent buck from
yeah,
that
if you can
distance.
see anything that tells you it's a buck at 2,000
That's
yards.
one of those shoot, move, and adjust fire shots.
And that's where the dad cannot see that far, no matter what the power of the magnification
So pay
is.
attention, write this down.
Yeah. So I told my dad to keep an eye on him, see what he was doing, and I kept looking for the pigs. Well, about, I don't know, 40 minutes to 50 minutes went by. Didn't find the pigs, so I looked back at the buck, and he hadn't moved maybe 20 yards, just hanging out with his does.
That's what they do.
So I asked my mom.
What you do.
I asked my mom, I said, do you mind if I go take a look at this buck and see if it's worth shooting? And if you guys see any pigs, just go after them. So I took off, and they stayed back watching. And I get about, I don't know, 300 yards or so from where they were at, pop over this ridge and look at him, and I finally realized what he was. I just saw a mainframe 4x4. And so I got my video camera out and started videoing him off the bow. And started watching him, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I finally realized that they weren't really going nowhere, so I cut down in the wash and started going up after them. And I got about maybe 100 yards or so from where they were hanging out. And one of the does picked me up.
Uh-oh.
And I froze, and I was like, uh-oh, this isn't going to be good. And so I just sat there and watched and see what she was doing, and her and the other 3 does started walking off. And so I kind of hurried up and snuck up behind a bush. About 20, 30 yards I ran up, and I kept looking for the buck, and I couldn't find the buck. And I got on my phone because we had phone service, and I sent my dad a text and asked him where the buck went. And I was waiting for a couple minutes, hoping he'd say something.
He was snapping, wasn't he?
You couldn't see him.
Yeah, and I was waiting, and he never said anything back, so I took a couple more steps forward around this tree, and all of a sudden I seen his rack start walking behind the does.
Ooh.
And one of the does stopped broadside, and I ranged her, and she was at 60 yards. And so they kept walking around this tree, and I pulled my bow back because I seen the buck coming. I didn't have a real clear shot where that doe was at. So I was waiting and hoping I'd get a shot on the other side of the tree. Well, he walks around the tree, so I figured I couldn't have went more than 10 yards. Put my 70-yard pin right behind his shoulder, and I let the arrow go. I didn't hear the arrow hit, nothing. I saw the arrow flip over his back, so I thought I hit a branch, and it deflected. And so I just stayed there and watched them. They ran down across the wash and came up on the other side of the hill. And I seen the does standing there. And I was looking around. I didn't see the buck. I was like, where'd he go? And finally I see him. He separated from the does and started walking up away on the hill with his head down.
Uh-oh.
And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is he leaving his does in the rut?
He's not leaving his does. He's going off to die. That's the only thing that'll keep him from his does.
So he goes up on top of the hill, and I'm watching him through the binoculars. I don't see him. He's not acting weird other than he's leaving his does. And I finally see the kicker points on his, I think it was his left side. He had two. And I got excited again, and I ran because he was maybe 400 yards away on the other hill. And I ran straight up the hill and over the top and watched him walk down the back, and I figured I could meet him in the wash.
There goes that youth thing again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried cutting him off down in the wash. I get down there, and I got a 90-yard shot, and he's standing there broadside, and I pulled back, and I was like, no, he doesn't know I'm here. I'm not going to do it. So he finally takes off walking across the wash, and I know the next wash he's going into. It's only about 40 yards across the wash. I was like, I probably get a good shot on him there. So I watch him walk up and over, and I run up to the top again. And I start looking for him, and and the bottom of the wash is real thick. And so I started doubting myself, thinking he was going to cut up or down the wash and disappear, and I'd never see him again. And I'm sitting there looking, and probably 5 minutes go by, and I'm looking, and I don't see him. Take my arrow off my bow, I put it in my quiver. I'm about to give up, because I didn't think he was going to be there. And out of the corner of my eye, 30 yards away from me, he's bedded down.
Really?
I look down, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, there he is. And he's just laying there, rocking his head back and forth. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, well, I don't know. Is he dying, or I didn't know what was going on. So I ranged him. He was at 31 yards, pulled back, and he was quartering away. So I tried to put it right in front of his hind quarter. And I let the arrow go at 30 yards and stuck him, and he let out a grunt and fell over, and that was it.
Game over.
Yep.
So your first one had passed through him then?
Well, what happened was the first one went right behind it would have been his right shoulder, and the broadhead stuck in his left shoulder.
Oh.
But the weird thing is
there
was never any blood.
None?
Nuh-uh. And I was using the Rage 2 blade on him.
Really?
So, which surprised me, because I've seen some damage with that broadhead.
So is it okay to do commercials for Rage or what?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good stuff.
So then...
I happen to prefer the Winchester Silvertip. Mushrooms.
That's true.
So I finally get to go down, and I check and make sure he's dead, and I finally get to grab a hold of the rack and finally get a real good look at him, realize what I just killed, and kind of took a few minutes to set in, but it was a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, if you guys are on your computer, click onto the ShakeRattleTroll.com homepage. Chad is there with these 184...
84 inches of pure prime buck.
Yeah, let me see. He's got his bear on there, too. Nice bear.
Yeah, the bear was this year in October in the general bear season. That was an exciting hunt, too. I took my...
Oh, you got a long gun there. Okay, my man. Yeah.
I took my wife's brother with me on that. He's never been hunting before, and he wanted to go. So we loaded up the rhino, and we went out over where I got my trail cam set up for whitetail in Safford in Unit 31. And we've been seeing these bears too every time we go in there. So I figured we'd have a pretty good chance at seeing one. And we go in the morning and set up by my camera, and we're glassing. And we glassed till probably 10:30 in the morning. Didn't see anything. We saw a couple deer, but no bears. So I started thinking, we're not going to see nothing. Let's go for a cruise in the Rhino. And we go cruising the Rhino up the canyon to the dead end. Well, there's a fresh pile of bear.
Yep.
And so I was thinking,
hold on. What part of the country are you in now?
Southeastern Arizona.
He's
in Unit 31.
He's in the woods.
Okay.
It's probably within, what is that, maybe 10 miles of where I killed the deer.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same, pretty much the same area.
That's some interesting country down there.
And so we see this fresh pile of bear crap on the road, and we're like, well, let's walk over this canyon and see if we don't see anything.
I have to ask, did you walk over and kick it?
No, well,
No, you didn't need to.
I looked at it and you could see it was pretty fresh. So
You didn't squeeze it, or
I tried to talk him
smell it or anything?
into doing the finger test, but he wouldn't do it.
Just checking.
But so we
Go, Jen.
So we walk over to this canyon, and I never found the water in this area yet because I never went up and really hiked in this area. And we go to look at the edge of this canyon, and we find the water.
We'll get back to that one.
Yeah, hold that thought. I'm still stuck on male mentality. We'll talk. Hey, we're going to thank some more of our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Rubbing her back just kills me.
Alrighty, that's what will happen when you sell your bass boat right there.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, man. Alrighty, back to okay, we found bear scat on the road. You didn't kick it. You couldn't convince your buddy to stick his finger in it. Then what happened?
So then we walked to the side of the road to look off into the canyon to see if we couldn't pick him up. And my wife's brother walked, 30 or so yards to my left and started glassing and looking around in the canyon. And I was thinking, man, we're not going to see nothing. It's about 12 o'clock by now.
Ooh.
Figured the bears would be bedded down,
Yeah.
getting out of the
Absolutely.
sun. And so I just throw up my binoculars just standing there. And I throw it up and I see something. I'm like, what is that? And it's a bear head sticking out of a tree.
Nice.
And I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, no, it can't be. It's just a limb sticking out. And all of a sudden, the bear walks out, and I'm like, oh, wow, Tim, get over here. And so he comes over, and I range him. The bear's at about 700 yards. And I didn't feel comfortable taking that shot. But my gun was more than capable of doing it.
What are you shooting?
300 Weatherby mag with custom loads and target turrets and all that good stuff.
It's capable.
So it's capable,
Yes,
but I didn't want to risk it. So we start walking down this finger on this canyon to try and get closer to him. Well, we didn't realize how thick the area was, and we're busting through Manzanita. So
You said the magic word, Manzanita.
yeah. So that bear we're assuming he heard us, and he took off up over the hill. And so we get back to the Rhino, and we're like, well, yeah, let's just go to town, go grab some lunch. We'll come back out for the evening hunt. So we're cruising down the road, and we get, maybe 150, 200 yards from when we normally park to go deer hunt and check my trail cam and stuff. And I slam on the brakes, and I look at Tim, and his eyes are the size of a $50, huge. I look at him, I was like, did you see that? He's like, yeah, did you just see a bear? I was like, yeah, I think I did. So we back up, because there's a juniper right in front of us. As soon as we back up, the bear's looking right at us at about 264 yards is what I ended up ranging him at.
Bingo.
And so
Say goodnight.
I go and I tell Tim, I said, get the video camera, so let's catch us on video. And he's fumbling around the Rhino. He doesn't know where he put it. Couldn't figure out if he put it in his pack, my pack, where he put it. So while he's doing this, I get my gun out, set up on my tripod to make sure I'm on a steady shot.
And the bear's just standing there this whole time.
He's standing there across the canyon watching us.
Low end of the gene pool.
And Tim finally gets a hold of the camera. And I tell him, I was like, well, get on him. As soon as he goes broadside, I'm shooting. And he's fumbling around. I can't get on him. I can't find him. Well, while he was doing this, the bear turned around and walked behind a thicket of Manzanita. And I was like, dang it, now it's going to be a longer shot because he's going to walk up this hill. Well, he gets behind that Manzanita, and there's a big boulder, and he jumps up on top of the boulder, broadside.
Whoa.
And I had my gun on him. I was like, Tim, you on him? No, I can't find him. Oh, well, I'm shooting. Boom! So I shoot, and you could tell it hit him because he hunched up and jumped off the rock. And we seen him jump 2 more times through the manzanita thicket.
Let me get this straight. You hit him with a 300 Win Mag, and he...
Mm-hmm. I thought it was just going to lay him over, but...
Yeah, man.
No. And so he jumps off the rock, bounces a couple times, about 20 yards, and then jumps off this little ledge. And from what I saw of him, I thought he jumped off the ledge and kept going. And so anyways, we get across the canyon after about an hour of plowing through manzanita and getting over to try and find him. And by the time we get over there, we're so backed up and confused on where I shot him at. It took us another hour and a half to find out where he was standing when I shot him. So once we finally did that, I found the blood trail, and I got on my hands and knees, and I was crawling through the bush trying to find the blood trail with my 45 in my hand.
Yeah.
Good man.
And
you got all the right stuff. 45,
Yeah.
Wind, yeah.
So I told Tim, I said, stand on this rock. I said, and if you see him come up, I said, put another round in him. I said, I don't want him getting away. And so I'm going, and I don't even go 15 yards, and Tim's like, hey, he's right there in front of you. And so I jump up because I didn't know if he was alive or dead, and I didn't know where he was at. And so anyways, when he jumped off that ledge, he front flipped and landed on his back in a big old thicket of manzanita. And so I get the 300 from Tim, and I reach down and I poke him a couple times, and he's not moving, he's not breathing. Kind of freaked me out. It's the first time I've been this close to a bear.
Chet, it's called dead.
Yeah.
DED, dead.
So I'm still pretty worried about it, so I grabbed my 45 and I got it pointed at him, and I told Tim, I said, I got a round in there. If he jumps up, shoot him. And so I go down there and I grab his paw, and I'm like, no, he's finally dead. And anyways, it took
nothing.
Yeah, it took everything me and Tim had to get him up out of there to where we can get him up and gut him and skin him out.
What did he weigh after all that?
We never got him weighed, but
really,
just guess, and I'd say maybe around 300.
That looks like a 300-pound.
Yeah,
bear.
He was pretty heavy.
Did you measure his paws, width of his paws?
No, I never measured the width of his paws.
Wow.
But the pack out of there definitely wasn't fun. We tried the old Indian way where you put a stick through it and tie his feet up to it.
Mm-hmm.
We got it up on our shoulders and took 5 steps and said, screw this, and put it down.
That's not going to work.
I guarantee you, he's hanging all through. You're going through manzanita. You might as well just give it up.
Yeah, but another story to add on to this. He's my son and I love him to death. But when he shoots a buck up on the side of Mount Graham, throws it over his shoulder and says, "I'll meet you down at the bottom of the hill, Dad." And he beats me down there by 20 minutes. Pops open a beer and I'm sweating to death just carrying the gun. That sounds like that's pretty bad.
We call him a squatch.
Yep. Long-legged kids. I like them as grunts to carry game out.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a pretty interesting area. I've heard some stories, I just wanted to ask you about it, of javelina, of alternative lifestyles. Let's say gay and lesbian javelina down there. What do you know about that, Marty?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, this is coming from Joey Nacha, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, Joey and I are outside of Safford, and we're hunting javelina, and we come across this area that holds a lot of deer and such, and
that's in Chad's area.
Yeah, that's right by where they're hunting there. And so, anyway, he's got Joey's got all this really nice equipment, and I come with my Bushnell binoculars. So, I mean, he's got these 1,000-power whatever stargazers, and anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's called Swarovski, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Swarovski.
Yeah. 2 crazy wheels on it.
I just didn't want to do another commercial, but yeah. Oh, anyway, yeah, he has all this stuff, and so we're out there looking for deer and pigs, and pretty soon Joe speaks up and he says, "Look at that." Said, "What?" It's right down there. So I've got my handheld binoculars, and then he's got his tripod Swarovskis, and right down there, you can't see him? I says, "No, I don't see him yet." He says, "Keep looking." I'm looking, and finally I spot some pig. Javelina. I said, "Oh, yeah, that's cool, He says, "Watch them." And I'm watching, and it's a big group of pigs, and I'm just watching these pigs, and I don't see what he's seeing, but pretty soon he says, "You didn't see that?" I said, See what? "Yeah, I see the pigs, man. When are we going after them?" He says, "No, you didn't see what I just saw." I said, "No." He says, Come here. I get up on his binoculars on this tripod, these big Swarovskis, and he says, "Now look." I look. I go, "Yeah, pigs." And I look back up at him, and he says, "You didn't see what I saw? You didn't see that crap?" He said another word. I said, "Yeah, pigs, dude. Let's go." "No, keep watching." So now he's back on his Swarovskis. I'm back on my handheld. "Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it?" I said, "Dude, yeah, they're pigs. Let's go." He says, "Come here." So I get back on his binoculars, and I'm looking. It took about 3 times of this going back and forth, okay? Finally, the 3rd time I see it. And I'll be darned if these 2 pigs weren't going after each other, taking turns. Number 1
2
pig.
little boy pigs.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Number 1 pig on top of number 2 pig, and then pretty soon number 2 pig on top of number 1 pig, and I'm going,
They hadn't figured out dominance yet.
well, Joey always said, to a pig, a hole's a hole. So he said, it's okay. So anyway, he says, okay, let's take off. They're about 800 yards now. And so we take off, and we're going after these guys. And this has been a few years back. So this is one of my first javelina archery hunts. And we get up on these pigs, and we're about 20 yards from the whole group of them. And there was a group of them. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Little ones, little guys, little piglets, everything. And so I'm like amazed just watching this, we're just sitting still, and we're in the what do you call that? Mesquite. I was going to say manzanita. We're in the mesquite.
Just as bad.
Yeah. And so anyway.
No.
One stops broadside. I come back and draw back, and Joe's ranging again, and he says 20 yards. I let go, and I miss. I'm like, what in the heck? And so right away I'm grabbing another arrow, and he's looking at me kind of confused.
I know.
I'm like, what? I was right on at 20 yards, right on my pin. So these things start scattering, and he starts this wolfing sound.
Yeah. That's it.
And he gathers them back in after a period of time. It didn't happen right away. But after a few minutes, here comes a few more back. So
We can gather that at the end of the story.
Yeah, boy. Hey, hang on. I got to hear the end of this. We're going to take a break. Thank some of our sponsors. And Arizona Extreme Hunting is brought to you by Safeguard Business Systems.
Earnhardt racing sticker on the window, banged up fender, 4x4 straight pipe roar, primer and rust all over the door, scarred up knuckles, Mac.
Like those Christmas cookies, sugar. I sure do like those Christmas cookies, babe.
'Tis the season. Oh yeah. All right. Back to you, Marty. All right. We're taking a 20-yard shot and you missed. Were you high or low?
Actually, I think I was low.
Really?
Shot underneath it, yeah.
They didn't scatter?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
They scattered. And so that's when Joey started doing the wolfing and trying to call him back in, and he was successful. He's good at it. So they came back in, and we're waiting for, a period of time for some of them to settle down, and one of them settled down at I can't remember the yardage now, but I think it was another 18-yard shot or something, and
it was 14.
Was it 14? Is that what he said? And he says, and so you heard this story yesterday. I forgot. So he says he ranges it at 14 yards, and he tells me, "Okay, this pig's at 20 yards."
Nice.
So I hit my first pig with a bow. Actually, I called it 20 yards, but he calls it 14. So
hunting's like angling. It is. It just seems to grow. It's you lose an 8-pounder at the boat. And that buck that I just missed was at least a 190.
190.
Yeah.
Plus.
The elk I couldn't hit was a 440. Yeah.
But from that story, we now have a name for the area, and everybody knows it. Chad's friends, we all go hunt the gay pig spot. So,
as it should be.
Yeah, but it was a neat hunt.
Joy's on my bucket list. I just love that guy, and he's without a doubt one of the best storytellers I've ever listened to, because a lot of guys tell good stories, but Joy goes back and lives
That moment. Yep.
He paints a picture. He paints a picture.
He starts
so
to sweat and the goosebumps start. It's like, wow, Joy, come back. But I was over there earlier in the week, and we're getting into the gift giving season, Christmas time, and a couple of things I want to point out. They're at 17232 North Cave Creek Road, just a little bit north of Bridges 5-star dive bar, and south of the candy store.
Yeah, it's the candy store. I'm well aware of that.
You know where that is.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got a new line of Explorer optic scopes. You need to check those out. I'd be curious to see what our optic expert PC has to say about these things.
The Explorers.
Actually, I just picked up a pair yesterday.
I've got a heavy burris on my long gun, and I love it. And I'm thinking real seriously about swapping that out for one of the 8x40s that he's got over there. Anyway, check those out. Really, really awesome stuff. He's got some binoculars too by Explorer, $150 to $450, so you can pick your price range. Handmade custom knives, $25 to $150. Pretty cool knives. They've got ammo. You might want to call Joy for pricing on the ammo. And he's got a couple lever action Winchesters over there.
Ooh, the old style.
A 30-30 and a 38-55 that's never been fired.
And the 30
really?
And the 30-30 has an octagon barrel.
Oh my!
Yeah,
it's neat.
Raw.
It's neat.
Yeah. So let's just say the Santa Claus list is going in.
Would you like me to pass on this information to your beautiful bride?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Brides are 30-30. Couple other things. He's got some military wool blankets, and those things are darn hard to find. $9.95.
Wow.
Yep. Going Monday to get one because it's going to be cold where we're going. And it's got a used Marlin Camp 9mm carbine red dot scope. Got some handguns over there. The SAR B6P 9mm 13+1. It's kind of a CZ clone. $269. Can't beat it.
Nope.
And then that Tanfoglio Match Elite 10mm. Was built in their custom shop. $649.95. It comes with a box of shells.
Everything comes with a box of shells.
You get a box of shells,
including my bow.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, kind of hard to knock, aren't they? I'm just saying. But yeah, a lot of good stuff over there. And he's got the ghost blinds, a number of different things, and an awful lot of good used, solid consignment sporting gear. And going to Joy's, you never know. It's like going to Pandora's box. You never know what's going to be in there.
It's always fun to walk through and see all the different stuff he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff. So. We don't have any roll call this week.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Not sure what's going on over there, but praise the Lord for that.
It's wintertime. Or is it not?
Nah, they're. I think they're in their springtime. We're going into winter. They're going into spring, and I don't think there's been a lull in the fighting. It's been rather consistent, but we haven't lost a soldier, so a lot of wounded, and we're trying to find out from DOD sources how many soldiers are wounded in action, and that stuff's really hard to find. But anyway, here's a really cool update on Seth Wakeling. 12 or 13 weeks ago, Seth stepped on an IED, had a amputation of his left foot, left leg. Doing well. Got an email from Brian Wakeling, his dad, and our big game branch chief up at AZGFD. He got a promotion. He is now specialist. Yeah, neat. And he's getting his first prosthesis on Monday, this coming Monday. So let's just say he'll be up and running.
Good.
And
we can start getting ready for elk and deer season next year.
I'm thinking he ought to be able to run the trolling motor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, drag worms in the back of the boat.
Yeah, one of those things.
So hopefully he'll be able to make it home for a short time around the Christmas holidays, and I'm looking forward to shaking his hand, and we continue to wish him well. That's about it for roll call. You can't say enough about these guys. December 3rd, Honda Lodge and Casino in Pine Top, we have the last wolf meeting.
And the only one that has been held in Arizona where we can make our public comments regarding the proposed expansion and change in status from 10J non-essential experimental to endangered.
Yeah, Chad, Marty, you guys need to be there. Seriously, this is a big deal.
It is.
That they want an unlimited number of wolves and.
No. 3 metapacks, 250 animals each is the primo.
Okay.
What they're looking for.
Let's do the math. We gave them 100.
Yes, we did.
And now they want
750 minimum.
And then they'll want
unlimited. You know that. Oh, the metapacks, that's the bare minimum, 250, three metapacks of 250 for a period of 6 contiguous years means a healthy wolf pack.
Yeah, do put in a good word on that 30-30 for me, will you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
I've heard that they do suffer from lead poisoning frequently.
Yeah. Anglers Roundtable 3 is Tonto Basin School over in Tonto Basin. December 4th, that'll be wrangled by Chief Chris Cantrell and our new WM for Region 6, Curtis Gill. They're coming forth with new data, completed data on some of the works they've been doing on the health and welfare of the Mother Lake and some of the things that are trickling downstream into Apache Canyon and Saguaro Lake. We're going to be getting an update on the gizzard shad. I haven't seen the test results, but I'm real curious to see what the percentage in the last effort was. Last time it was 27%
of the biomass, right?
Yeah, the biomass, and I don't suppose that's lessened any, but it has been confirmed. We've got the gizzard shad down in the Apache, and if they're in Apache, they're headed for the urban lakes in downtown Scottsdale.
By the way, I wanted to bring you in, and I forgot to, but you've got. I found the initial issue where quagga mussels were written up by Larry Riley. It was that they noted January of 2007 where quagga mussels were determined, and then they put on that same year in April the Don't Move a Mussel campaign. So it is now officially 6.5 years old of the Don't Move a Mussel campaign.
All right, and here's what's happening January 1st. AZGFD enforcement is going to be issuing citations. You're not going to get a warning. You're going to get a ticket for having your plug in your boat. After they find you with your plug in the boat, guess what? They're going to look and see if there's any water in your boat. If there's water in your boat, another citation, about $375. So that's $4.25 for not pulling your plug and being a jackass.
About time.
Yeah, I'm thinking. All righty, we're going to step down and adjust fire. We'll come back more with Chad, Marty, John Cole is our voice of moderation. I'm Don McDowell.
Voice of reason.
The serious fisherman, as well as the novice, looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll is brought to you by Bill Luke Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
All righty, hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. First hour, we've been hunting elk and deer and a really big bear. Chad, how do you measure your bear head?
Well, I think the way to do it is after they boil the skull, and you get all the meat and
the drying period is done.
Yeah, the drying period is done. Technically, you're supposed to use, I think, calipers and stuff to measure the width and the length of the skull, and you add those two together to get your final measurement.
Okay, so I've got a couple. I haven't even. I've been curious, but they never were measured. But one of them's a really big bear. But anyway, thank you for that. Guys, we're going to get into some stuff. In support of Arizona Game and Fish Department, we've got an issue up at Camp Navajo.
I hear incoming.
Yeah, incoming, yep. You need to get in a foxhole and cover up on this one. A.K.A. Belmont. It's been Belmont all of my life. It was founded in 19 42 as a munitions depot during World War II. Well, here's the deal. Arizona Game and Fish, I'm going to use the word donates. 198 rounded off, 200 elk tags, certain amount of deer tags, 4 antelope tags, some turkey tags, some bear tags to the military post up there, which is now under the auspices of the Arizona National Guard, and a chap called Lieutenant Colonel Gage.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Gage. Okay, here's the deal. There are allegations that the game tags are being mismanaged, that the Arizona National Guard has turned this into their own hunting preserve.
Correct.
Am I accurate so far?
So far, yes.
Don't want to be overly abusive here. And Craig McMullen has taken a new post as Region 2 supervisor. Got a lot of faith in Craig. He does a hell of a good job.
And he's probably one of the more methodical. I mean, he is a good administrator, but he's very methodical in his approach to things, and he always has been. And he's also he's not an antagonistic or in-your-face type of person. He's willing to work out details and try and find an amicable solution to most situations.
Well, he's like the Jack Webb of the AZGFD. The facts, nothing but the facts.
That's correct.
And that's what he deals with. Well, this has apparently been going on for a year and a half, a couple of years now, and we're down to the commission's going to be considering what to do. I've weighed in my 2 cents worth. There's a DOD integrated natural resource plan that they're in violation of, and out of all of the military reservations that we have in Arizona, Camp Navajo is the only one
not to comply.
Thank you. That's where I was going with that. So they're in violation of the DOD program, which they have to have. My concern is, that's a premium hunt area.
Oh, you think?
You don't have, you have a little military activity, but you don't have the woodcutters, you don't have the ATVs,
nope.
You don't have the birders and the hikers and all of those things, and it truly is a game refuge, and there's some monster elk in there.
Yes, there are.
Okay. Rumor has it, one of the guys up there, and I don't know what his name is, but I will find out, has had an elk tag for at least 18 years straight. Probably 19 is what we're trying to find out.
When you consider the population density of the state of Arizona, the amount of tag applicants that there are, and the average for a rifle tag premium bull hunt is once every 16 years. For an archery, it's once every 8 years. For anybody to be drawn ever for more than 2 consecutive years, the odds are incredibly high. For 18 consecutive years, it doesn't work.
They have a wildlife manager named Wes who's got a new phone number, and I've got a couple phone messages into him. A couple of questions have been posed over 4 phone calls. Is what is your civilian resident population
that is employed by the post?
By the post. What is your National Guard population that are stationed there? And then there's a question of they've got civilian contractors in and off the post.
Correct.
How many of those do you have? Well, nobody wants to answer that question. So, through negotiations with Arizona Game and Fish, here's a response on the campnavajo.com under the recreation heading. And they state, Lieutenant Colonel Gage and the entire staff at Camp Navajo have made it abundantly clear that we cannot support additional civilian hunters, those without military affiliation or military security clearances, and I'll get back to that in a minute, at this time due to security and force protection reasons. Now, having said that, there are some sensitive areas. They store nuclear
material
stuff, warheads, and things to go boom in the night and make parking lots. They have maneuvers. They
Correct.
have training exercises and so on and so on. And that's what they're supposed to do. Moving on. In a compromise to establish goodwill with Arizona Game and Fish, Camp Navajo has graciously proposed a reduction in National Guard designated tags by 30%, from 198 tags in 2013 to 140 tags in 2014, while sustaining the same amount of civilian tags, which are 37, and disabled veteran tags of 27 for the 2014 hunt. Camp Navajo has proposed a 1-year feasibility study in order to determine how many hunters they can support with new security measures and estimated costs associated with additional civilian hunters. My take on that, John, is this is extremely arrogant.
No, it actually goes beyond arrogant, and I can't think of a term that is appropriate for it, but that flies in the face of any cooperative agreements between the Game and Fish Department and the National Guard, for one. For two, their term of graciously, give me a break. We don't have we don't have a population count as to how many resident personnel they have on base, and until we do that, we need to have those numbers. Or if it's a secret, that's fine. But that needs to be worked out between the Game and Fish Department and the National Guard.
We're not dealing with national security here.
No.
We're dealing with damn elk tags.
Well, not only that, but there's also areas on the base where civilian hunters can go and military hunters can go. There's two different sets of rules on that base.
There are.
Yes.
And, some of the things that we're expecting, if this doesn't get worked out, and I'm gonna blue slip. I'm gonna be in the woods on the 7th. Hate to miss the commission meeting. It's
we may be out of there by then.
I'm hoping, but anyway, my blue slip and my comment to Mr. McMullen, Chief McMullen, a couple of the commissioners, Brian Wakeling, is we take all of their tags away from them now.
Exactly.
Take them all away. Say, okay, here's 40 tags for your disabled veterans. They need an elk tag.
Right.
I want a copy of their DD 214 and their DAV status when the tags were issued, and we will do the feasibility study. They're not qualified. They're in
military.
Violation. They've got 2 fish ponds up there that they're illegally stocking, to my knowledge, trout. There's a process. I don't care if they're qualified to kill people and break stuff. They're not qualified to stock trout, nor are they qualified to manage big
wildlife.
game.
No.
I think we have four antelope tags, and I find it pretty curious. The antelope like to hang out over in the bunker area. Let's just say
that's the high end of the gene pool, folks.
Yeah, they've got it figured out, and I understand they have sensitive areas, and I understand you need a DOD or a military clearance to go into those places. However, there is a process that they're denying you, me, you, all of us, and Jennifer as well. You can go in and get a temporary military clearance to hunt on that. And what I'm afraid of is if the commission doesn't stand pat on this thing, and I hope they take their damn tags away from them.
I do too.
Except for the
DAVs.
DAVs. They just need to get. They need to figure out who they work for.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody needs to figure out real quick here that the Game and Fish Department's in charge. End of story. They are responsible for wildlife, not Camp Navajo National Guard personnel.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, there's a lot of anger behind this. You know that.
Well, it's going to get worse. So, anyway, having said that, we're going to stand down, take a little bit of a break, and finish up on the AZGFD Commissioner's agenda when we come back. I'm Don McDowell.
Chad Solberg.
Marty Solberg.
JK.
Voice of
Moderation and Reason. Hi, Dougie.
I felt the rush of the Rio Grande into Yellowstone, and I've seen firsthand.
All right, we're back moving along. December 3rd, another milestone date for Arizona. Wolf hearings are being held. A couple of situations are going on. Doyle Shamley is, I don't know how to describe Doyle. He's an independent wolf guy, let's say.
He's an independent person. he is convinced, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the federal government has run amok,
Is corrupt,
and is probably one of the most well-read people, but he always has a slant that is fair. Let's put it this way: you and I are conservatives, okay?
We are.
On some occasions,
I'm ready to go postal about this wolf stuff.
I understand, but he makes us look like we're left-wing liberals.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
On a comparative basis.
All right, well, here's what they're doing. They're having a special panel presentation and documentary viewing at the McNairy Community Center, Highway 260 in downtown McNairy. I'm assuming you can find that from 12 to 12:30. There's an invitation to come here, specialists, scientists, leaders, land stewards, and other expert testimony concerning the impact of the reintroduction of the Mexican gray wolf. There is also a free viewing of the documentaries Wolf in Government Clothing.
By the way, you and I are in that for a brief period of time.
And PC.
And PC, and Jimmy Unlocked, and Tracy.
Yeah,
yes.
Nice. That probably made the watch list right there.
Yeah.
He does that. Jim Beers did a good job on that. Matt Cronin speaks about genetics. I'm not sure what some of these other guys are talking about, but they're hard after it. Apache Sitgraves in Apache County has invoked a
no-nonsense
ordinance, and I don't know that they've actually managed a wolf up there under the way they're talking about, but about the time they do, this is going to be tested in court.
You think?
What they've done, they took a vote, had a meeting with all the memos and motions and all that, and they have made Apache County Sheriff king of the woods.
Yes, they have.
So that in their mind, their rule supersedes anything that else is going on up there. And part and parcel of that particular ordinance is if a
canid, it can be a dog, and it can be a cross, and it can be a wolf.
Well, they're calling it a predator or experimental predators. If they start acting up, and they've got 47 definitions what's acting up, let's just say if you're one of those that are acting up, harassing in public the population or livestock, you will be managed. And I don't believe that means being captured and sent to a breeding wolf hotel for the rest of your life.
You know, sometimes they will do that, though. They will try and put them down with a tranquilizer gun. I know that. But if they're killing cattle and if they're doing that, they're going down.
Game's over. Well, yeah. The wolves aren't any different than anything else.
No.
There's a pattern that develops. The pattern will not be broken. So,
once they show an affinity for the delicacy known as beef, hard to get back to elk or deer.
Yeah.
Or pig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're moving into the Honda Lodge. That public comment, actually it's an information period from 3:30 to 5:30. They're going to take a half-hour break or so, come back 6:30 to 8:30 is the public hearing.
Where you can make your comments.
Yeah, and I can't emphasize enough, you guys need to be there. Absolutely. We've got a commitment to try to get 250 people on the anti-wolf side show up in camouflage dress.
I will be wearing my camo vest with my white shirt and my camo tie. Voice of moderation and reason.
Nice. Okay. Ryan Benson and Sean Matheson are rolling in from Big Game Forever.
Good.
They're going to be passing out orange hunting hats.
Is it a tri-panel? I love those.
I don't know, but you know what the opposition is doing. They're resorting back now. These are the same guys that acted up in the '60s.
I know.
You know, that are running the country now. They anti this and anti that. The only problem with them is they accept everything, stand for absolutely nothing. And you know, we this is our last shot at okay. We'll support 100 wolves, no more. We'll support them where they are. We don't need to expand the range from eastern New Mexico to western Arizona. that's wrong.
No. It would be interesting to see if there is that, and because part of that too is that Texas has been systematically excluded. If you look at that border setup that they have, it starts at the eastern edge of New Mexico and it goes all the way to the western edge of Arizona. It's amazing that those wolves will know that those are boundaries that they can't cross over into Texas. And the reason that Texas is not included is because the Center and Fish and Wildlife Services are petrified of the power of Texas politicians. Because Texas politicians will not, in any way, shape, or form, permit there to be wolves. Now, because Arizona and New Mexico are less populated, don't have this, and because there are parts of California that have migrated to downtown Phoenix and have become liberal, they're not afraid of it.
And are you saying that our elected representatives are weak?
Well, I'm saying if you look at, say, for instance, Tucson, which is Berkeley South, or Flagstaff, which is Berkeley North, what you have there, and particularly Congressman Raul Grijalva, who is also known as the MM, or part of the certain mafia that we have down south.
Needs to go back across the border.
Well, that would be nice. That would be a good step. But basically what he's done is he is in bed, and I'll say that, euphemistically, with the Center for Biological Diversity, or the Sierra Club, or anything that's green.
DOW.
Or the horse lovers. Yes, DOW. All of those people, he does everything at their beck and call, because they support him heavily in his political efforts. And the citizens of Tucson, quite frankly, I think there's something wrong in the water that goes in down there. I swear, there is.
Well, I liken Tucson to, Big Tempe.
Oh, yeah.
It's just out there.
Yeah.
But
at any rate, that is the issue that we have in going forward with this, and that's why I'm going to be very interested to see if Karen Suckling and any of those people from the center are going to be at that meeting up in the Honda.
They wouldn't dare.
Oh, I wouldn't.
They went to Washington. They went to Denver. They didn't get their way. Sacramento, they were out in the hallway.
Howling.
They were in Denver, dressed up in wolf suits and howling and making a public spectacle of themselves, which they don't give a damn about.
It would be very interesting. I have some concerns, Don, about appearing at the Honda Conference Center. Particularly, I, as the voice of moderation and reason, I'm not too worried about getting into any kind of physical confrontation. You, on the other hand, might be concerned.
John, I had to pull you off that jackass up at the at the Game and Fish Department. I'm the one that had a hold of your belt, let's say. James Guggenhauer was the one that had a hold of Dennis Perch.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is...
but that was an inflammatory remark that was personal to me. It wasn't about an issue.
This whole thing's personal.
I know it is.
And my
Well,
my guess is
you may wind up in the White Mountain Apache Tribe jail center in Honda or McNary for an extended period of time. That's why you're riding with me.
Hair. Didn't we do that at the Little Bighorn?
Yes.
I think that outcome kind
General
of
Custer.
That sucked. Dude.
Yes, and the results will be the same, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my questions for Ryan Benson is why in the world do we have a federal agency having a state meeting on a sovereign nation that they pay, over the last 5 years, $1,020,000 to have wolves?
If you go back historically, though, on this project from time that it started, the White Mountain Apache Tribe systematically has been included in receiving a minimum of $180,000 to $205,000 per year to manage wolves on their land. They're not doing it out of the graciousness of their heart.
No,
and they're not doing it because it's a mystical figure. They're doing it because of cold, hard cash.
Follow the money.
Absolutely.
If you pull the money trail away from DOW, CBD, and the rest of these greenie weenies, there's not an issue. They don't give a damn about the wolves.
No. It's all about, there's two things. Number one is money, and number two, they want to eradicate hunting by humans in their lifetime. Thank you, Jennifer.
We'll be back with our Rim Country Fishing Report. James Guggenhauer, Master Rod Builder from Rim Country Custom Rods. I'm Don McDowell, and you are?
Marty Solberg.
Hoorah! In the Bear Killer.
Chad Tolbert.
Nice. And
the voice of moderation and reason, JK.
There ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my
can kiss my big old bass.
All righty then. Time for James Gilman, our master rod builder from downtown Payson at Rim Country Custom Rod. James, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Don. How you doing, sir?
You know, today's pretty interesting. You got some pretty avid hunters in here, and
we've excoriated the National Guard.
Yeah, National Guard's on the. Let's just say they're in the crosshairs. Next Tuesday, the December 3rd, Fish and Wildlife Service is having a meeting. What have you heard from your constituency group up there in Payson? Are they going to make the trip up the hill?
Yes, sir. A lot of talk up around Rim Country, and I was down in Tonto Basin, sitting there at the tackle box, and about 5 guys came in, and it sounds like there's a pretty good contingency from Tonto Basin area that's going to head up that way too.
Nice. Well, rumor has it, and I hope to be able to substantiate this next week. 2 wolves. A big wolf and a smaller one were caught on a trail cam just north of Tonto Basin, or in that area. I'm not sure where it is. All I can tell you is the wolves were about 100 pounds, 120 pounds maybe, and then a smaller one. And you can see Jake's corner in the background of the picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a scary one.
Yeah, well, we're trying to get that up on the website. So, the damn things are moving around. Some of the misinformation and disinformation coming out of Albuquerque is just so tainted. Unofficially, Game and Fish wildlife managers are saying, yeah, we got them over here and got them over there. And the service saying, no, you don't. And we're making a concentrated effort over the next week to see if we can cast tracks with plaster Paris, like they do the Bigfoot up there by Payson.
Sure.
And, yeah, I'm just saying. Come up with some photographs that have tags on them, GPS tags, and maybe some plaster cast, and send those over to Sherry Barrett and go, here, this is where this came from, where you don't have wolves.
Yeah, funny thing about inconvenient facts, when you have pictures and when wolves get to the I-10 or the I-40, I'm sure they don't say, oh, gee, I'm not allowed to go across this road.
Really? Well, I know Clifford Perch had sighted a wolf up there, and how are they doing on their elk hunting efforts, he and Dennis?
I talked to him. Dennis got himself a bull last week.
Ooh.
And, Clifford said he had not, that he had spent more time doing some scouting. He's a elk guide in this time of year. So, as a matter of fact, he's got a client right now, and but he hasn't got one for himself yet. He was still hoping he could squeeze a day in for his own hunt.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like you're not inundated with tags. Based on what I saw, they're recommending 800 tags over a 2-week period next year.
Nice.
Well,
you guys weren't at that PNRC meeting, but that's what Henry came up with, was a recommendation for like close to 800 tags over a 2-week period, plus the 350 tags that you guys had for archery. That camping with a bow hunt that they have late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a difficult series what you've got going on right now, because you don't have that big of an area, and you've got a tremendous influx of people trying to, with weapons, do some damage to the elk herd.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's what Dennis's big concern was. He had been watching this one elk, but he knew that if it made it to the weekend, that there'd be so many hunters in that area, he'd never see it again.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, I think he got it the day before.
The best way to do it.
Yeah. And I've been listening to you, Don, online about the meeting up in Pine Top, and thanks for getting that out. We've been sharing that up here in Rim Country. And we want everyone else not to forget that the following day, on December 4th, Arizona Game and Fish is going to hold a meeting in Tonto Basin with the roundtable from Gila County. This is the 3rd meeting that we've had with the Game and Fish, and we understand Commissioner Madden is going to attend this meeting, and it's going to be very insightful because Game and Fish did another fish survey on Roosevelt Lake month before last, and they're going to share those results and look forward to how we can address the increasing number of gizzard shad at Roosevelt Lake.
On that note, it is official. Curtis Gill is our new WM for Region 6.
I'd heard that.
Okay, well, it's official. So
the other good thing about this meeting is, and I'm pretty happy about this, we've been able to construct a schedule or a timeline of events of things that have to happen to either restock Roosevelt Lake with Florida strain bass or to put habitat into the lake. And so this timetable is going to be presented. It shows exactly what needs to be done. And trust me, there's a lot that goes into getting approvals to do anything when you're working with the government. But it also assigns a personal responsibility and a duration for each of the tasks. So very good. I'm looking forward to a very good meeting with a lot of good information there.
Well, one of the byproducts of the government shutdown, Chief Cantrell's been working with Tonto National Forest on some of the MOUs, trying to beef up the language so that in the event, and what I'm concerned about is February we hit the debt ceiling again, and we could go through the whole shutdown process again, and I'm hoping Game and Fish is up on their game, trying to get this language to the point where, should they fail again, to be able to keep a gate open and a launch ramp open. Hopefully GFD will be able to step in and take up a load.
Right. Hey, before we leave the meeting with the Game and Fish, it's going to be at a different location this time. It's going to be at the Tonto Basin School, which is right in Pumpkin Center. It's right next to the fire department in Pumpkin Center.
Okay.
Before, we've been having them at the chamber meeting that's a little bit past Pumpkin Center, but for the listeners, just turn right into Pumpkin Center, and you can follow the crowd probably from there.
Yep, can't miss Pumpkin Center.
No.
Hey, bass fishing on Roosevelt Lake was called good this past week. Now, this was, I'm going to share this with your listeners, and it'll only be for the people who listen to this show who get this information. This new water that's coming into the lake from the storms we had last week has really turned the fishing on. Guys went up to the Tonto end and probably more to the salt end, but where that water's coming into the lake, that's where the fish are going, especially in the afternoon when the sun was able to heat some of those coves up a few degrees warmer in the late afternoon. They were fishing with spinner baits. They were fishing with top water baits, the top water buzz baits, and even a frog was working. So pay attention when that water starts flowing in. Now, those flows have dropped off dramatically this week, but they're not at zero. The salt this morning is flowing at about 300 cubic feet per second, and the Tonto is flowing at about 50 feet per cubic second. So if you're on the water this week, it would be worth your while, especially in the afternoon, to take a trip up to the top of the lake on either end. Nice.
Well, that's seasonally kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and we're also saying don't forget about the jigging spoons and the jigs that we've been talking about with suspended shad that are feeding, or suspended bass that are feeding on the shad out there.
Yeah.
Because that still is working too. But it just seemed, and I've seen this before, when those coves start to heat up a few degrees, those big bass like to go back in there and get into that warmer water this time of year. So
let me ask you this: what kind of a crappie flotilla is on the lake?
Yep, it's every week it seems to get a little bit bigger. It started out with 2 or 3 boats, and now you see like 5 or 10 boats out there. And this is the next couple of months is the best time for crappie fishing on the lake. You'll see them at the Tonto end, right where the water coming in, mixing the bass fishing in with the crappie fishing, because right where the water enters the lake, up there by Orange Peel, is a good place to do some crappie fishing. And trolling, small jig head, 3/16 quarter ounce with a 2-inch curly tail grip, or a live minnow, are the baits that they're using there.
That would be a good choice.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let me ask you this. The holiday season is upon us. What do you have to offer would-be fishing rod buyers coming out of Rim Country Custom Rods?
Oh, thank you, Don. Yes, we are advertising gift certificates and custom rods For people that don't know about custom rods, we can put person's name on it or a little verse on the fishing rod. We can build that fishing rod specifically for that angler's technique and what he likes to fish for. And for the month of December, Rim Country Custom Rods offers a 10% discount on any custom rods that are ordered. And even if you don't know what the angler wants, we can get a gift certificate and we'll still honor the 10% discount.
Nice. That's pretty handsome savings right there.
Yeah, appreciate that. Hey, let me give the number here. It's 928-468-0263, or we have a website at www.rimcountrycustomrods.com.
Well said. You've done this before.
See you up in Honda. Jay.
Okay, so what kind of a camouflage outfit are you going to be wearing?
I've got it. You better believe it. I'm going to be sitting right beside you in camo. And
I want to know where Dennis Perch is going to be and who's going to be in control of Dennis Perch.
I think we're going to put him right between you, me, and JK.
That's a bad thing.
On a tether line.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing all y'all up there December 3rd, guys. Spend a little time, spend the gas, make your comments.
Now.
All righty, Rim Country Custom Rods, check them out. Got a deal for Christmas time. I'm Don McDowell.
JK.
Marty Solberg.
And Tony G is in the house.
Hey, Don. How you doing? How you fishing, Vance?
All right, we'll be right back after a short break.
It just comes natural. It's what I was born to do. Rockin' to the pro with the rhythm of the ocean.
All righty, hey, Tony G, thanks for making it down today, buddy. What is happening in your world?
Hey, a lot of fishing, Don.
Well, tell me about Prop Plus. December 3rd, we've got the Wolf meeting up in Pine Top at the Honda Lodge. The 4th, we have the Anglers Roundtable 3 at Pumpkin Center at the Tonto School. The 5th, we have the Sportsman Open Forum out at AZGFD HQ. Mm-hmm. And the 6th and 7th, we have the Commissioners meeting.
Uh-oh.
And Prop Plus is doing a Customer Appreciation Day?
Yes, we sure are.
Nice.
It's going to be December 7th. And it's going to be in the morning. I think it ends right around about noon, 2 o'clock. And you're going to have pizza. You're going to have drawings. Mitch, one of their factory pros, their sponsor pros, is going to be there. I'll be there. And I'll have some of the cool new things from Live Target Lures out there with me. And
cool. Some
of the Southern Cyclone A-rigs. And we're going to have free pizza. That's always awesome.
Can turn down free pizza.
Yeah, we're going to have that out there. And going to be raffling off some props. That'll be nice.
Free props?
Yep, free props. That'll be awesome. And
I need to have mine polished.
Yep. Well, bring it on down. They can take care of it there for you.
We're going to be up on an elk hunt, let's say.
On the 7th?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be back by then.
With the big elk?
You better be.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Hopefully you got a big one brought back.
Well, the grandson's got one. Donnie's got one. My son's got one. So I've been relegated to. He's going to be doing glassing.
Two of my friends got elks last week. Gary and Gilly.
Nice. Yeah. A lot of elk going down.
They got theirs with a bow.
Been a successful year. Well, here's the deal with Props Plus. We've been advertising those guys, and John doesn't have a boat, but John, here's the deal. The fact is, if you have teeth, you're going to see a dentist. If you have a boat with an outboard and a prop, you're going to see Prop Plus sooner or later.
Yep, and they've got everything you need. They quick service. They do a great job and get you back into tournament on the weekend. Skiing, whatnot. Yep. And
the last time I was over there, they got a little fishing tackle and some odds and ends.
Oh, yeah, they still do. They've got some terminal tackle and things like that there for the angler. They've also, they have like Mitch be there. He can talk and teach you techniques and some of the secrets. Great spots.
Yeah, the big thing is don't run your prop in the rocks.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's where the jack plate comes into play.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got to get over there. Mark Townsend borrowed it and tuned it up for me with a ball peen hammer. So runs pretty good, actually. I mean, Mark did a fine job with that 2-pound ball peen.
Really? He actually tuned it for you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, let's just say. All right, good stuff. Anything else you need to add? We need to get this thing wrapped up.
Just a couple things. Check me out on YouTube. It's Fishing with Tony G. You can just Google it. It'll come right up.
There's some fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, all kinds of great stuff there. And hopefully I'll be looking for a tournament partner. So anybody interested, just drop a line through YouTube or here through
Your
Don.
boat or my boat?
My boat.
Really?
Yeah.
My boat's faster.
Probably.
My boat's bigger.
I don't know, though. We have to take them out and run them. So I've been in your boat too.
What are you
got the new one?
What are you, nuts? The thing's turning 89 miles an hour. Come on.
Oh, that's slow.
Really?
No, I'm kidding with you. It's actually pretty doggone fast.
I can't control that speed.
No, I think Mike's had mine up. Mike, I haven't, but Mike, when he had mine, he's had it up to about 82.
Nice.
So it's close.
That's
you're running a nitro too, right? Bass Cat, right? Which one you running now?
I'm running the 201 Cobra.
Okay. I don't think I've been in that one.
Just so you'll know, the hull weight's 1210. So my horsepower to weight ratio is just stupid.
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah, it's got kind of a goofy spot right about 78 that makes you want to get out of the throttle. But if you don't lift and drive through it,
right,
it'll set itself. And again, depending on where you are,
right
here it's good. Havasu with that change of altitude over there, that boat's just absolutely stupid. I have no idea. I can't stay in it fast enough to top it out.
Oh, that's nice.
Even with the tournament load,
Right.
It'll unscrew the speedometer. But anyway,
that's awesome.
Yeah, look for address for Prop Plus.
Oh, that's Scottsdale. What is their address? I don't know it off the top of my head.
I don't know. You're the pro staff guy.
Yeah, I am. It's right over there between. It's off of Pima and in between that and Hayden on the north side.
Somewhere between Yuma and Flagstaff.
Yeah, that's it. Somewhere between you.
Flagstaff.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Yeah. We'll pull it up. Go ahead and pull them up real quick. Give them the actual numbers.
We would do that. However,
it's not on your
temporarily not available.
It's not on your flyer either.
It's not.
No.
Oh my God.
Pre-planning.
That's
we need to address this issue in the future.
I sure do. Well, you know what? I did bring all kinds of great stuff for live target lures with me, though.
Mac Computer is working diligently to find it.
Yeah, here we go. We got it.
Plus, go. Well, talk about that. Let me look this up real quick.
Awesome.
By the way, Don, for those who haven't...
Scottsdale, Arizona. 8625 East McDowell Road.
There it is.
2685 East McDowell. Back to you, John.
8625 or 2685?
8625.
I was going to say, 26 is into Phoenix, but 86 is right there in Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Right by the casino.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
so that's where we're going to be.
All right, what else you got to say?
Oh, that's it. I just want to come down to tell them, come on down there and have some pizza with us and participate in Customer Appreciation Day at Props Plus. What's that address again, Don?
8625 East McDowell Road.
Oh, I sure appreciate you looking that up for me.
Named after Bass Daddy.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
All right. I want to thank these guys, the Solbergs, Chad, and Marty. You guys are awesome. I don't know how you put up with Joe Nacha. And yesterday, Joey was trying to weasel out. He got in Dan's girlfriend's sleeping bag.
I'm not even going to touch that one.
Well, it was the middle of the night. They had to take a squirt, and they both got up, and Joey comes back in the trailer, and he gets back in a sleeping bag. The only problem was it was the wrong one.
Was it occupied?
It was. But, I taught, this.
Gee, I've made that mistake before. Not.
I talked to Dan, and he kind of stuck up for Joey. He says, he didn't really know where he was. And Joey was getting pissed. Dan had a flashlight in his face, middle of the night, where nothing was.
Asking him what he was doing, yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing? What the hell are you getting that light out of my face? It's Joey.
I could never get one of those over.
No.
No.
Nice try.
Yeah.
All righty. Marty, thanks a lot for coming down. You guys are the best. We've got the pictures of your elk and Chad's nice buck and nice, really big bear.
We appreciate it. Thank you for having us on. We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, anytime. And guys, check out for your gift giving this year. Lookout Mountain Outdoors 17232 North Cave Creek, just north of Bell Road on Cave Creek. Actually, they're right next door to a feed store.
Mm-hmm.
And
look for there's a big horse. Big statue of a horse.
You know, I've been tempted
barn.
to take Joey's hunting mannequin and put it up on the horse.
Yeah, well, I was wanting to do
that lady
too.
at the feed store.
I don't know if she lets do that.
She might get a wet wire over that one.
Yeah. Anything you need to add on behalf of Safeguard Business Systems, ADA, AZSFWC, WWC, and or AZGFD?
Basically, all of the above. We're encouraging people. You haven't made your comments yet, please do. We're coming to the end of the line regarding the Mexican gray wolf in Arizona, as well as wolves nationally. And your comments count. If you do it on an emotional-only basis, you're not going to have much impact. But if you utilize some logic as to why we should not have Mexican gray wolves in Arizona, and you can soundly and logically point it out, and there are a bunch of talking points that every of the groups have put up, look at them, make your statements known.
I think the big thing is we've got wolves. We're always going to have wolves. These wolves are not going away. You know, our goal is to...
No, we just have to have the state manage them, not the feds.
Exactly.
And we need to make sure that we are living up to our bargain, which was 100 wolves, 10J, non-essential experimental.
$30 million.
Right. The $7.2 million figure, which was the feds, FEIS and DEIS numbers that they put in there, that's what they said. $7.2 million would be the cost of the program. We're over $30 million in running, and that's just for 100.
Number?
Which number? The $28 million or $30 million, or the $7 million?
$7 million. I mean,
that was their model when they started.
These guys are not good with math. They can't add, subtract, or multiply, and their percentage factors of wolf kill on their model in Yellowstone.
Well, it's like anything else the federal government has done. So what if they're wrong? Who cares? They put it out there, people believe it, and then it turns out to be wrong.
Hey, Don,
the story.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
The stories that we told this morning, all the hunting stories and such, wouldn't be possible without these men and women that are out there for us.
You got it, man. Good point. Hey, I'm Don McDowell.
JK.
Marty Solberg and Chad Solberg.
And this is Tony G.
And Doug Stricker and Jennifer. Hey, thanks for listening today. Hope you learned something. Please send your comments out. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat. Salute a soldier. We're out here.